about your mission and what Corporate Knights does.
Yeah. Well, our mission is to humanize the marketplace. And some people say, well, what does that mean? And basically, we just want, we think human beings essentially will make good decisions most times and will not try to hurt other human beings if they're aware of the consequences and if they understand the connections between the decisions you make in the marketplace when you buy something and how that affects the worker down the supply chain in China or in Ethiopia or wherever they may be. And so we try to connect things. So when we do investment ratings of mutual funds, we try to show people which mutual funds are having values applied when they vote their shares and they buy their stocks that people sign up to if they're an ethical fund or a socially responsible fund. We do ratings of business schools, and we try to find out which business schools have social and environmental impact opportunities for students who want to study, courses, professors, institutes, internships, co-op programs, things that are quantitative that you can put together. We do assessments of sort of if people want to know which companies are treating their Aboriginal partners more fairly. We do ratings on that so you can go and see which companies are sharing more with Aboriginal communities. And ultimately, those things are also good for the business. And we're not doing this with any illusions that our current structure of businesses are going to do this just because it's the right thing to do. There are a lot of people who do want to do that, but the shareholder framework that our society is governed by mostly, you have to show how it's good for the business as well. And the big picture is we all know that no business can succeed in a society that fails. And so that's the big picture lying in the back of everybody's head, I think. And then there's also this idea, if you want to have a social license to operate, if you want to attract the best and brightest people, if you're a good corporate citizen, you're going to have a better opportunity at doing that.
So I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't say, there's some people are going to listen to this and say, well, you're mad or you're upset because now you've got this competition in sort of the corner of the market or the market that you had sort of cornered. But the reason I asked you, Corporate Knights sort of mission statement is part of this, part of what bothers you about this is that, you have sort of established this standard and you want to make sure that standard isn't diminished in some way by, unless I misinterpret this, by a list that might not necessarily be covering the same criteria in the same way as yours. So dissuade people that this isn't just sour grapes. What is it you want to debate with Kenneth White? I guess that should be my question. Does it involve boxing? Is it going to involve best three holds and you're out?
Yeah. Essentially, like I said, I believe in competition. I'm not an opponent of the free market. I believe in a competitive media marketplace, and I just don't think that necessarily includes taking. I'm not making any specific comments here. Trying to take over other people's intellectual property, and I also think being a part of a competitive media marketplace, it's a great opportunity to have a debate. What makes a corporate citizen? Why does it matter? And there's not that many times where you have the whole country potentially interested in a discussion like this. Sometimes when there is a little bit of a controversy, it's a huge opportunity to have a deeper discussion, a bigger discussion. Unfortunately, it appears that from the information that I've been given that Mr. White is going to stay up there in his office in Rogers and doesn't want to come out in the light of day for a nice competitive discussion.
A little Toby Heaps smackdown. I guess this is relevant on a number of levels. First of all, for the reasons you've stated, but also because I think my sense is that there are more and more Canadians who care how corporations are behaving. We've looked at the number of from the Enrons right up to the way AIG behaves, and name any others. The people at eHealth, for God's sake. I mean, even though that's not a corporation, but. So people really do have an interest in is their behavior ethical or are they behaving properly? Do you get a sense that they sort of jumped on that bandwagon to some degree, McLains? I mean, in terms of this. I mean,
there's a lot of reports that have come out there. The Globe and Mail report on business did a few rankings. We were really happy with that. The only thing I'm happy McLains is doing more reporting on this space. I think the more reporting, the better. There's certain rigors and elements of reporting that I think would be even better, in the broader mainstream media landscape. The only thing that we find a little unfortunate is that the naming and the timing, but specifically really the naming, has confused a lot of people. And when we come out with our magazine, there's 500,000 issues of this other magazine that was just printed a few days before ours. We come out with ours on Monday. Some people inevitably, I'm expecting, will be also confused. We'll find out the reverse confusion. So I'm more worried about the confusion that happens from the name, not from the act of of reporting in this space. Nobody owns reporting in this space, and we welcome everybody to jump on in this space.
So you haven't heard anything at all from you've heard nothing from Mr. White as far as the throat or the challenge, anyways, to debate him.
No, I just sent one email and no response.
I did make a phone call. It was rather late in the day though yesterday to the only contact I have at McLains, but we are going to endeavor to get a comment from Mr. White on this subject as well. Is the title "Best 50 Corporate Citizens in Canada" is that something that you can sort of copyright? Is that copyrighted by?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is beyond my expertise, but I understand that through use we've acquired trademark rights under common law, and there's lots of other things that are pretty similar that are registered trademarks, like the 50 best managed companies and Canada's most respected corporations. So, as I said, this isn't my legal I'm not a lawyer, but that's how I understand it.
People can get involved in this in their own way. In fact, you've got a rather some eminent Canadians that are supporting your argument as well. Sheila Copps, David Reynolds, Johan Gelinas. Am I saying that wrong? Gelinas?
Gelina.
So how do people get involved? They can go to your website, corporateknights.ca.
Yeah, they can go to our website, corporateknights.ca. I think we've got even a Twitter going. I did my first. I guess that's kind of a nice chance.
It's a slippery slope from here, Toby.
Yeah.
You can also just go to our website, www.take5.fm, and click on the link to corporateknights.ca. We'll follow the story and keep us posted. I love a good little. I love a good fight like this. And I mean, I'm making light of it. I'm trying to make some fun of it, but there is a point where you do sort of have to say. There's a bit of, I don't know if it's ethical here or not, but anyways, jumping on the bandwagon, it strikes me. Toby, thanks so much for coming in again.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Toby Heaps is the editor-in-chief of Corporate Knights magazine. For more on this story, as I said, go to our website, www.take5.fm.